The Yankees need to add Nolan Arenado. Obviously he's not what he was, even 2 years ago, but it's either DJ LeMahieu and Oswaldo Cabrera for that last infield spot, or you go out there and you make a trade for Nolan Arenado. Brendan Donovan, I don't think they're going to make that trade. I don't think the Cardinals want to give him up. But last year, Nolan Arenado had a 719 OPS, a 272 batting average. He had 16 home runs and drove in 71 runs. You put Nolan Arenado in the same, similar to what I was saying about Cody Bellinger yesterday. I expect Cody Bellinger to have a year like he did in 2023. Maybe even a little bit better because he's hidden in the same lineup as Aaron Judge. If he pulls the ball a little bit more than he has in the past few years of his career, I think he can have 25, 30 home runs with the Yankees. So Cody Bellinger, I do think, I'm not saying it's an A-plus move, but it was definitely a B-plus move. Devin Williams and Max Fried, those are A-plus moves in my opinion. Max Fried, definitely a risky contract. Giving a 30-year-old an 8-year deal is risky. But at the same time, for 2025, it makes all the sense in the world. But that's why I'm saying go out there and get Nolan Arenado, because the Yankees have a window to win a championship right now. I get it. They want to go after a big first baseman next year, whether it's Murakami or whether it's Guerrero Jr. That's why they gave Paul Goldschmidt that 1-year deal, because they're going to be heavily in on that first base market next year. But Nolan Arenado doesn't prevent them from doing that next year. He doesn't. So that's why I'd go out there and I'd make that trade for Nolan Arenado, because you look at his numbers last year compared to the projections for DJ LeMahieu or Oswaldo Cabrera, who's like, you look at Oswaldo Cabrera's numbers. Let's take a look at his numbers throughout his career. He's gotten opportunities. Last year he had 247. 248 last year, actually. But career-wise, he has a 233 batting average. It's not very good. Last year, 661 OPS for Oswaldo Cabrera. You don't want that on a team that's trying to win a World Series. And you look at DJ LeMahieu's numbers from last year, and he did get hurt a lot last year. That's another thing. He's going to be 37 years old in July next year. Well, this year. Played 67 games last year at a negative 1.6 WAR, hit 204 with a 527 OPS. Since 2021, obviously his best years are behind him. Since 2021, over the past 4 years, he has a 252 batting average, a 698 OPS. I would go with the 34-year-old third baseman, Nolan Arenado, in that lineup. You look at the Yankees lineup with Nolan Arenado, it's much better. Jazz Chisholm, I would probably have leading off. Aaron Judge batting second. Cody Bellinger batting third. I think Bellinger batting right behind Judge. That would be huge. And then you slide Arenado in at number 4. Stanton at number 5. Keep lengthening that lineup a little bit. Goldschmidt hitting 6th. Volpe, I would probably have hitting 7. You could also make the case, have him bat 9th to turn over the lineup. I would probably put Jason Dominguez in the 6th hole, just so you can have another lefty up there. Austin Wells, I could see him hitting the bottom. He's definitely going to be hitting the bottom of the order. And Austin Wells is another candidate to have probably a breakout offensive year. He had a pretty good offensive year last year, especially in the first half. Cooled it down in the second half. But Austin Wells, he's got some potential. And Jason Dominguez, finally getting his shot to be the everyday left fielder. It's about time. But that lineup looks a lot better with Nolan Arenado there, rather than DJ LeMahieu hitting in the bottom of the order, or Oswaldo Cabrera with a 233 batting average career at the bottom of the order. Like, would you rather DJ LeMahieu? Like, your infield the Yankees infield could be Goldschmidt at first, Jazz at second, Volpe at short, and then third would be Oswaldo or LeMahieu. Whereas you could have Nolan Arenado there, and it completely reshapes the infield. And if we think Cody Bellinger is going to have a bounce back year with Aaron Judge, then why can't Nolan Arenado? Why can't Nolan Arenado? So that's my case for why you should bring in Nolan Arenado. It's pretty simple. He's just better than DJ LeMahieu and Oswaldo Cabrera, the current options. He's just better. That's why. And the Yankees have a window. Aaron Judge isn't getting any younger. Garrett Cole isn't getting any younger. You want to win a championship with those two, you really have, I would say, 2-3 more years of a really good Aaron Judge, arguably 1 to 2 more years of a really good Garrett Cole. Because Garrett Cole's getting up there in age. I think he's 35 right now. I'm going to fact check myself real quick. He's 34. 34 years old. He'll be turning 35 next year. Do we expect Garrett Cole to be a Cy Young candidate when he's 36 years old in 2 years? Like, do we? I don't think so. So you have to go all in now. You have Garrett Cole and Max Fried, arguably one of the best, maybe even the best 1-2 punch in a starting rotation in all of MLB. And then your 3 is Louis Heel coming off a Rookie of the Year. Your 4 is Clark Schmidt, and Clark Schmidt is a very reliable starter. And your number 5 is Carlos Rodon, who won 16 games last year. That's an elite rotation. Elite. Your number 5 is a guy who won 16 games. So, Yankees, their plan in 2025, right now, what it looks like is pitching. Because their bullpen is also great. They just added Tyler Matzek, or I think I said that last name right. I always have trouble pronouncing his last name, but Tyler Matzek, last year he had 11 games, led up 11 runs, but before that, he was a sub-4 ERA reliever. And their bullpen is already great as it was before they got him. Bringing back Tim Hill, that was a great deal on it, especially that contract that they gave him. They're paying him less than $2 million a year. Devin Williams, he's the best closer in baseball. No doubt about it. Luke Weaver, down the road, he was the best reliever for the Yankees. Jake Cousins, another great guy out of the bullpen. The Yankees have a loaded bullpen. They have a loaded starting rotation. And right now, I would say, the only guys that they have that can hit over 30 home runs is Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge. And that's if Stanton doesn't get hurt in the regular season. And we all know he gets hurt a lot in the regular season. Cody Bellinger, I could say 25 home runs. Paul Goldschmidt ain't hitting 30 home runs. So, realistically, a Jazz, he could probably hit 25 plus. But, it's hard to imagine this Yankees lineup making another World Series appearance with DJ LeMahieu and Oswaldo Cabrera as the everyday infielders. It's just hard to imagine. But let's get into Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe really needs to get going offensively. I get it. He's a Gold Glove defender at short. No doubt about it, one of the best defensive shortstops in MLB. But if you look at Anthony Volpe's numbers, he's never in his. I know it's only 2 years only. But when you're trying to win a World Series, you can't have a guy who has an on-base percentage below 300. A 283 on-base percentage his rookie year, 293 on-base percentage in his this past year in 2024. OPS only 666 and then a 657 in 2024. He actually kind of took a little bit of a step back this year, OPS-wise. Batting average-wise, it did increase. It went from 209 in 23 to 243 in 24. They need Anthony Volpe to just be consistent. In the playoffs, he was actually relatively good. Had a 286 batting average, 407 on base percentage, 815 OPS, 14 hits in 14 games. If they get that Anthony Volpe in a regular season, that's a major plus for the Yankees. Major plus for the Yankees. So Anthony Volpe, where Francisco Alvarez was my potential X factor for the Mets, my potential X factor for the Yankees is Anthony Volpe. Because we know Anthony Volpe can be a great hitter. He was a great hitter in the minors. He was a great hitter in high school. I believe he had 1 year in college. But when you get that defense out of him, you don't need him to hit like 300 plus. You don't need him to hit 30 plus bombs. This is a kid. In his rookie year, his power numbers were there. His power numbers were there in the regular season. Anthony Volpe had 21 home runs his rookie year. And he also had 24 stolen bases. So if he can, let's say he can hit 18 plus home runs. He can hit, let's say, 270 plus. OPS in the 700s. And he swipes 28 plus bags. He swiped 28 bags last year, 52 through his first 2 years. If you get that Anthony Volpe, that's a major plus in that lineup. That's a guy who you want hitting leadoff. And if Anthony Volpe is at his best and he's hitting leadoff, that's really good for the Yankees. Because then you don't have to count on Jazz Chisholm to hit leadoff. But I think a lot of people are also downplaying Jazz Chisholm in this lineup. Like I said, I don't think he's going to go nuts and hit 30-plus home runs, even though I feel like they need another guy who can hit 30-plus home runs in this lineup. It is lacking a little bit of power outside of Judge and Stanton. But, this is a guy who's got a 757 career OPS. Last year, he hit 24 home runs. He's only 26 years old. 27 now. He actually just turned 27 on February 1st. Going to be playing the entire year at 27. I believe it's a contract year for him, too. So he's going to want to prove himself. No, actually, next year will be a contract year for him. Only 21 games his rookie year. So, yeah, this is big for Jazz Chisholm, you know. This is big. When he got traded to the Yankees, he had a 273 batting average, 825 OPS, a slugging percentage of 500. He had 18 stolen bases. He had 40 total stolen bases. So if you can get a 25, 35 plus season out of him, home run, stolen base wise, that's huge. So I think a lot of people are downplaying the fact that Jazz Chisholm Jr. is still on this team. Right now, he's probably their best offensive infielder. I would say he's probably the fourth best hitter in the lineup third best hitter in the lineup when Stanton's not out there. But, you don't really want Jazz being your number 4 guy in that lineup. Not like cleanup wise, but just your fourth best offensive hitter. Because right now, if I'm ranking offense wise for the Yankees, it's obviously Judge number 1. Then I'd go Bellinger. Then I'd go Stanton. And then I'd go not Volpe, Jazz. So, that's why I also think the Yankees do need to go out there and make a move for a Nolan Arenado. Now, if I was the Yankees, I would just sign Alex Bregman. Because like I said, it's not going to take adding the third baseman is not going to take you out of the first base market next year when you want Murakami or you want Vladdy. It's just not. So if I'm the Yankees, I would just go after Alex Bregman. He turned down a multi-year deal in December. It seems like Scott Boras, obviously, if it's not Juan Soto, Scott Boras is not getting his players a lot of money for a lot of years. He's not. So if Alex Bregman does have to end up taking a short-term deal, let's say a 1 to 3 year deal with opt-outs, why wouldn't the Yankees try to poach him? Why not? Because then Bregman is automatically your second best hitter in the lineup. Right there. He had a great second half last year. Had 17 home runs in the second half last year. Why not? Then your infield is Goldschmidt, Jazz, Volpe, Bregman. Then your lineup could probably be Jazz, Judge, Bregman in the 3. I'd probably put Bellinger in the 3 hole still. Bregman hitting cleanup, Stanton hitting behind him. That'd be a really good lineup, man. That'd be a really good lineup. So if Bregman, if he does have to just swallow the pill of a short-term deal, I think the Yankees should go after him. Right now, rumors are leading towards no, that's not going to happen, but you never know. You never know. Maybe Brian Cashman says, if you want to take a short-term deal, why not? Come to us. Why not?